Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. All around, welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 7 years. And in today's chatty, unedited One Take Tuesday video, I'm kind of addressing all of the things around the work we need to do as freelancers, like the distractions that you have just in your own personal life, how you overcome things that are going on in your community and society that are completely unrelated to the end buyer or whoever you're working with. So I'm in Oregon, and right now, if you haven't heard, Oregon is really struggling with wildfires, as is basically this entire half of the country. It happened really quickly, I felt like, so today is Thursday the 10th, and on Monday, I think, we received, or maybe it's even Sunday, on Sunday, we received a notice that said there was going to be high wind warnings. It was going to be especially hot, dry winds, and that we should just be advised that that was going to happen. And so then on Monday, my husband, a friend, and I rode our bikes. It was like a 30-mile round trip bike trip that we made. And so we were coming back into town, and they said, the winds are going to start about 5 p.m. And we got home about 5 p.m. And I think we were 2 miles from our house, and all of a sudden this just haze of smoke set in, and there's just ash in the air. And I was really glad that we timed it the way we did, kind of on accident, because if we had done things different timing, we would have been stuck on our bikes in the middle of this just oppressive haze. And so even looking outside today, it's not as orange as it has been, but it's completely this yellow, oppressive, heavy, hazardous air quality. And near me, there are 2 wildfires that are each about 20-ish miles away from my home currently. And I personally am terrified of fire. Just that is like the one thing in my life that I am so scared of fire. I can handle water, snakes, spiders are creepy, but fire, I don't like. So the first thing I did was I've packed stuff for us, in case, just the in case situation, we would have to evacuate. And working has been really hard. That's all to say. Working has been so hard. And I'm really lucky just by chance that my workload has been a lot lower this week, which tends to be a dip around holidays in the US, and then also, which is Labor Day, and also the very beginning and end of the month, which was really lucky for me that this is happening now, because even with about half the workload I have been doing the previous weeks, I can't do it. I mean, I sit on the couch and I just end up staring outside, and I just can't quiet my brain. And kind of did I set a timer? Yes, I did. 10 minutes on the clock. Quieting the things around you, whether that was, the start of COVID several months ago, that was really hard for me to overcome the anxiety of just what's going on in the world, and how do I deal with that, and with, the things that are on a computer, which seem almost unimportant, compared to what's going on in the world around me. And this right now, it's just a lot. And whether you're going through a divorce, or your child is sick, or you have a death in the family. I've had 3. This is too much personal information, but my uncle has passed away, my step grandpa and my grandfather have all passed away very recently. And so there's family things going on, and it's just a lot, right? Just like anything else. But the challenge with freelancing is that you are only paid for the work that you actually complete. So if I put myself out of office and I say, I just need mental space to deal with the things around me, to kind of get a grip on myself, to take care of myself first, then I'm not being paid. And that's very similar for a lot of jobs that don't have paid time off for, anything or other reasons. But compared to a traditional job where you may have paid time off, or you may have a very supportive boss who says, take a couple days, take care of yourself. You know, we just want to care about you. And as a freelancer, it just feels like sometimes you don't have anybody there saying, well, I care about you first, not just what you have to offer in a deliverable. So 2 strategies that I'm working through personally to kind of stay focused on my work, but also like take care of myself is, number 1 is to separate work time from like every other stress time. And so in order to get work done these past few days, I have intentionally positioned myself in a dark room with like the shades drawn, and I don't allow myself to even look out the window. You know, I don't allow myself to let the outside world come in. I put myself on silent mode or whatever it's called on your phone where it won't alert you. And I intentionally do not allow myself to open our stupid Facebook community post groups, because that is just a mess in itself. So intentionally removing myself from the outside stress so that I just can focus creatively on this. And then I guess 1B would be to allow myself more time, because my brain is just not working like at its full capacity. And not that I'm not unhappy with any of the work that I've delivered for clients this week, but if I had just given myself the normal, 2 hours it would usually take for me to do something, and I said at the end of 2 hours, like, yeah, that's probably good enough, that's not good enough for me right now. I need more time to give myself, an entry period to get into writing. I need more time to let my creativity flow through, and I need more time to proofread and focus on the little details at the end. And it's a little bit of a different situation right now. And then the second big thing that I'm doing to try to overcome all the things that are around me and to still be productive is that I am asking people, I'm being real with my clients, and I'm asking them for some flexibility, and I am just being honest with them that I very rarely, if ever, make any kind of personal apology or any kind of personal requests. I just don't. I usually just give myself enough time that even if something did happen, I can just do it with, the 1 day bumper I always give myself. But right now, because the situation is evolving, it's not just a 1 day thing. I feel like it's just affecting me personally, and not to make this about me at all. Like I still have my home and my safety and my health. Mentally, it is really affecting me in a weird way. And so I'm being real with people, and I'm saying, I have your order scheduled for Saturday, but this is what's going on, and I want to make sure that I'm delivering the best work for you and that I'm taking care of myself. And then I usually ask, with your schedule, would it be okay if we added a couple days to this order just in case, just being real with you. And everyone has overwhelmingly said, just be safe, take care of yourself. This is not a high priority. And they've all agreed, every person that I've asked, to add that flexibility. And with those other things I'm doing for myself, I haven't needed to take that extra time, but it makes me feel more supported. It makes me feel like, there's goodness in the world, or like whatever. It's just this tiny little ray of positivity. And I think that as freelancers, we can often feel a little bit too on our own island, or like I'm just kind of being used by different people or other companies, but I'm not actually like an asset to them, if that makes sense. And so just being real with people, asking for help when you need it, but not overusing that tool, and just taking care of yourself first, because I know that the work I deliver, potentially with a day later, or potentially just taking more of my own time to do it, I can reach the same really great results, but it's just going to take a little longer, and it's going to take a little more of me overcoming the things around me. So that's currently what I'm facing today, this week. For the next couple days, we're really hoping it's going to rain soon, and we're really hoping that the winds will change. But to everyone out there who's dealing with hard stuff, whether that's, personal, family, pandemic, job loss, hunger, literally whatever you're struggling with, put yourself first and make sure that you are taking care of yourself so that you can then take care of other people. Yeah. Okay, we've got 2 seconds left. Thanks for being here. Bye.